being free. Being a nomad means the world is your home. Being a nomad is breaking the rules. Being a nomad is just to be you.
Never been a follow fashion monkey, born as a leader. No follow trend neither people, I know me that. In fact, you probably catch me by the ocean side. Stay with not the deepest point to clear my mind. In with the positive, one out the negative vibes. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going far, far away from the past. Yeah, going like a nomad with my backpack. Here I go. Catch me treading through the streets of Babylon. Catch me treading, even if I me one alone. Catch me treading through the streets of Babylon. Treading, even if I me one alone. Locks are creep, so me seek looking knowledge. Daddy grow me strong, now I don't need the courage. And tell me good luck on your journey. Don't make no man out of flame, so me keep the fire burning. Remain humble, be who you are, and your light will shine like a star. Only the fittest shall be the ones who conquer. I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going far, far away from the past. Yeah, going like a nomad with my backpack. Here I go. Catch me treading through the streets of Babylon. Catch me treading, even if I me one alone. Catch me treading through the streets of Babylon. Treading, even if I me one alone. Do it. Shuba, hey. Bring in the harmony. Shuba, hey. Now listen what I say. I live everywhere, every month a different country. Look at the beautiful beaches in Cape Verde. Fly over Kenya just to go to the safari, just to see the lions roar in the morning. So tell me why would I want to stay in that little city of yours? Go travel around the world, across the 7 seas, yeah. Treading through the streets of Babylon. Catch me treading, even if I me one alone. Catch me treading through the streets of Babylon. Treading, even if I me one alone.
What make you want it all? If it's the greedy dog,
What make you want it all? You are rich and we are poor, yeah. So our needs are much, much more. Why don't you behave like a big man, a respected one? Instead, you're just like a criminal. You tell I today, I go be ready. I get trash and ready, nice and ivory. You tell I tomorrow, which fills me with sorrow. Tomorrow never comes. Tomorrow never comes. Hey, Mr. Greedy Dog, what make you want it all? Greedy dog, what make you want it all? I won't be your tool for you to use no more. Enough of that, I've had for sure, yeah. Encouragement sweetens my labor. That's why I just can't take your dog behavior. The youths them belly empty. I know you got plenty. Tomorrow never comes. Oh, tomorrow never comes. Yeah, Mr. Greedy Dog. What make you want it all? Hey, Mr. Greedy Dog. What make you want it all? You are rich and we are poor, yeah. So our needs are much, much more. Why don't you behave like a big man, respected one? you're running, come run my way. I'll meet you halfway and love you always. Hey baby, I'll meet you there. Ain't nothing compares to you. If you ever need the weight off you, I'll help you settle down easy. And when our days are few, I'll help you settle down easy. La la la, it wasn't by chance. A reason that we both crossed paths. La la la, it wasn't by chance. A reason that we both crossed paths. Nothing satisfies me as much as when you're happy. It's true. Nobody does it like you do, and I would only tell the truth. You know I'm honest, you look beautiful in blue, but all the colors bring the beauty out in you. And when you're running, come run my way. I'll meet you halfway and love you always. Hey baby, I'll meet you there. Ain't nothing compares to you. There will be a time when I look into your eyes and say I knew. That one day I would find you and instantly just fall into. Nobody does it like you do, and I would only tell the truth. You know I'm honest, you look beautiful in blue. Halfway and love you always. Hey baby, I'll meet you there. Ain't nothing compares to you. Nobody does it like you do, and I would only tell the truth. You know I'm honest, you look beautiful in blue, but all the colors bring the beauty out in you. And when you're running, well come run my way. I'll meet you halfway and love you always. Hey baby, I'll meet you there.
Noch was kommt jetzt beziehungsweise das höre ich jetzt gerade ab. Von hier direkt. Ja?
I'll help you settle down easy. I'll help you settle down easy.
Na gut, aber der direkte Weg eigentlich über Stereo ist natürlich ein guter Weg. Schon mal. So,
Nobody does it like you do.
aber
Da müsste.
ich habe auch schon geguckt, ob hier irgendwo eine ja, ja.
Down easy.
Ja, aber auch. Ja, warte mal. 1, 2. Moment. Also, irgendwo ist er jetzt.
Reason that we never cross paths.
So sind wir immer zu hören. Yeah, guten Abend.
When you're running, nothing compares to you. Nobody does it like you do. You know I'm honest, you look beautiful in blue. And when you're running, nobody does it like you do. And when you're running, I'll meet you there. Where's you?
In danger, man so life that you take a bigger adventure. A seizure in the thinking from man thinking like preacher. About the filthiness of man and what your pop culture. I go resting at the arms of the father. I go resting at the womb of the mother. I no take no weariness from no vulture. I purify. I live it by. I clarify. Yeah. So if you talk, we can talk. What's solid as a rock, man, if you talk, we can talk. How we get that go drop now, if you talk, we can talk. Drop any 20 cups, so if you talk, we can talk. Yeah. I'm unafraid, me walk a talk. Yeah. I'm unafraid. Hey. Ancient sons and daughters in the question, the answers. Remember the splendors of identical colors. In sundance and reference to nature we prosper. Gonna sing a chant of love for the spirit to whisper. Gonna sing a chant of love for the spirit to wonder. Gonna sing a chant of love for the spirit to come and call over. Spirit to come and call over. So if you talk, but solid as a rock, man, if you talk, go wicked and go drop now, if you talk, drop any 50 cups, so if you talk, yeah, I'm unafraid, me walk and talk, yeah, I'm unafraid. So discover you don't have to go for me, brother, man, no just over. Come over the fact you are infinitely greater than what they ever showed you within man and the answers to all mystics and wonders inside Jaja creators. Jaja creators, Jaja creators, no Jaja creators, Jaja creators. But solid as a rock, man, if you talk, now we get that go drop now if you talk, drop any 20 cups, so if
Ladies and gentlemen, first part of the interview.
Not this one you will never take. Not even with the promise of your diamonds and pearls. Not this one you will never claim. No. It's a walking and put the Gideon. Time reveal the Rasta man at the champion. Long time organic and
Good evening, listeners of Reggae Roundup. This is Matthias again, bringing you a brand new interview. Now, a few years ago, I was browsing YouTube and I stumbled across a very impressive performance by a young roots artist at Rototom Sunsplash 2017. Well, it turned out that this gentleman is an upcoming singer from New Caledonia, which is a small group of islands in the South Pacific. His name is Marcus Gad, and today he's here with me on Skype. So I say greetings, Marcus. What's going on? How are you today?
Greetings, Matthias. Everything's fine. And thank you for having me on the show and giving me a little time to speak about what I do.
I assume that just like me, when I first heard about you and your music, some of our listeners may not be so familiar yet with New Caledonia, which technically I understand belongs to France. But could you give us just a brief introduction of your home country?
Well, New Caledonia is a very special place. It's a small island that has maybe 300,000 people living on it. And it's in the South Pacific, in between Australia and New Zealand. And the culture there is very unique. It's a big mix, but let's say the native people are called the Kanak people, and they represent about half of the population. And there's still a really big tribal culture going on, 28 different languages on the island. And then there is people from all over the Pacific. So it's a big melting pot, and as you said, it's still part of France. It's one of the last colonies, and it's underway of decolonization. Really, like this year, at the end of the year, we'll have a vote to decide whether we want to remain a part of France or if we want to become our own country.
Right. So in this unique place, as you already mentioned, what is the role of reggae music there, and how did you get into contact with it?
Well, reggae is really popular on the island because it's a tropical island, and it's got a lot of similarities to Jamaica. Actually, a lot of Jamaican artists, when they come, they say the place looks a lot like their country, and we grow up listening to reggae. There is reggae all over the country. It's on the radio, it's on TV, you'll hear it in the supermarkets, in the bus. Everybody listens to reggae. So, and from when I was a youth, there was lots of shows, lots of really big Jamaican artists coming to New Caledonia for like Burning Spears and Israel Vibration, Mighty Diamonds, Abyssinians, all the great gladiators. We got them all. So this was a big influence for such a small island to receive so many great artists.
Now, one of your very evident influences is Vaughan Benjamin of Midnight, and I assume that you get asked about him all the time. So I would rather like to ask you which other reggae artists influenced you over the years.
For me, I've listened mostly to really old school reggae. I really love Burning Spears. I really love the Abyssinians. All Dennis Brown, all the great vocalists and singers. And I don't listen to that much new roots, like the music that's coming out, that's being released today. I listen to all of it when it's released, but it's not my favorite genre to listen to. And I don't listen to that much reggae, to be honest. I listen to lots of different styles of music, and reggae happens to be the one that I chose to express myself.
So what kind of other music is that? For example?
mostly world music, but I love any traditional music, any tribal music, from any continent. But of course, I love West African musics. Everything that comes out of Mali and Burkina Faso is really interesting to I love Sufi music, the whole Muslim music from Turkey. I listen to lots of soul, like from the 60s and 50s, Otis Redding, Donny Hathaway, all these kind of artists here.
Every day on a regular basis. Almost discipline before receiving graces. Sensitivity, likewise it is infectious. Bring a levity in a desolate places. Only sanctuary you will find in yourself. Stick it in your heart, are really the first place. Only lovers say open our way to forgiveness. Like a baby walk, yet we take our first step. Oh, let we take our first step. It takes some time. Protège ton pouvoir, conserve ton savoir, protège ton histoire, préserve ta mémoire. Non, les manipulations d'État n'auront jamais raison de l'histoire. Car elle est inscrite dans nos gènes et nous la portons dans nos mémoires. Fala dans ton cœur, mon frère. N'oublie pas que tout ici pousse à la lumière. Après tout ce qu'on a perdu, tant de luttes, après tout ce qu'on a pleuré, après tout ce qu'on a combattu, tant de chutes, non sans cesser d'espérer, cesse pas d'espérer. Mais il existe des choses qu'un peuple ne peut pas oublier. Avoir traversé le feu, non sans cesser de prier, cesse pas de prier. Voilà dans ton cœur, ma soeur. N'oublie pas que tout ici pousse vers la lumière. Protège ton pouvoir, conserve ton savoir, protège ton histoire, préserve ta mémoire. Hey. Non, les contre-coups de l'histoire n'auront jamais raison de notre espoir. Car il est gravé dans nos gènes et nous le portons dans nos mémoires. Y'a pas la joie là dans ton cœur, mon frère. N'oublie pas que tout ici pousse vers la lumière. Même s'il brûle toutes les preuves, toutes les traces, tu ne peux pas oublier. Malgré toutes les épreuves, à sa grâce, tu dois t'abandonner. Car les hommes sur la terre ne récoltent que ce qu'ils ont semé. Prends conscience de la puissance en toi, celle que la vie t'a donnée. Ta véritable identité. Ce que Dieu t'a donné, ce que Dieu t'a donné. Y'a pas la joie là dans ton cœur, ma soeur. N'oublie pas que tout ici pousse vers la lumière. Protège ton pouvoir, conserve ton savoir, protège ton histoire, préserve ta mémoire. Non, les manipulations d'État n'auront jamais raison de l'histoire. Car elle est inscrite dans nos gènes et nous la portons dans nos mémoires. C'est dans la terre et dans les cieux, là dans le fluide et dans le feu. À tous mes pères, pensez à eux, à tous nos guides ainsi qu'à nos vieux. Là dans la terre, là dans les cieux, là dans le fluide et dans le feu. Toutes mes mères, toutes mes sœurs, je pense à elles et ainsi qu'à la terre. Là dans la terre, là dans les cieux, là dans le fluide et dans le feu. Là dans la terre, là dans les cieux, là dans le fluide, là dans le feu. Protège ton pouvoir, conserve ton savoir. Protège ton histoire, préserve ta mémoire. Protège ton pouvoir, conserve ton savoir. Protège ton histoire, préserve ta mémoire.
Ready for the second part, here comes Marcus Gett. Oh ja, im Kreis ist immer nicht gut. Jetzt wieder. Marcus Gett.
Schon wieder anscheinend ist das
a new interview. His name is Marcus Gad, and today he is here with me on Skype. So I say greetings, Marcus. What's going on? How are you today?
Greetings, Matthias. Fine. And thank you for having me on the show.
Now, before we speak about your current
Ja, Mann.
album, you, well, not only on this album, but on all of your music, you sing about Jah and Rastafari. So I would like to ask you, did you learn about Rastafari through reggae? Or where did you get the knowledge and the guidance regarding the teachings of Rastafari?
Well, for me, my introduction to Rastafari was really my first journey to Ethiopia. And the first time I went to Ethiopia, I was going there really for...
Also der auch rausgeht.
I wasn't going to Ethiopia because of the story of Rastafari. And when I got there, after a few weeks in the country, I went down to Shashamani, which is this place Haile Selassie
Ich einmal ganz schnell zumindest die Wiedergabe einmachen.
descendants who want to go back and live in Africa.
Right.
And so when I went there, I met many Rasta elders, and I met particularly this one brother named Mau Mau, who welcomed me in his house with his family. And for me, that was like university. He really taught me about the mystics and the history behind Rastafari, and this was my first introduction to it. And I had always been a spiritual seeker, really seeking for truth and for different pathways, you know. And when I stumbled upon Rastafari, for me was coming from where I was coming from, and all these elements came like an evidence.
I'll ask you about some musical context regarding Rastafari later on, but as I already mentioned, you've just released your second full-length album. It was released in March, and it is called Rhythm of Serenity. It was produced by Zion I Kings, who well obviously also worked with Midnight. So how did you get into contact with these guys?
It was interesting, actually. We had a friend, Manu. He's the drum player for Sarah Lugo. And,
One, two, one, two.
They went to play in Costa Rica, and they were in the same bus as Zion I Kings. So they made them listen to my music. And then Moon, his brother from Zion I Kings, he just called me the next week, and to ask me if I wanted to work together. And for me was I couldn't believe it, really. For me it was like a dream, you know. It was really an honor that they would contact me and that I would get the chance to make music with these brothers that I look up to.
Then they sent you rhythms, or did you kind of did you produce the music together, or how did that work?
So they sent me a lot of rhythms, and what was really interesting is that they sent me rhythms from different time periods of Zion I King. So there's rhythms that have been recorded 10 years ago, and there was rhythms that they recorded after we spoke.
Yeah.
So, and basically they brought the rhythms and I brought the lyrics and melodies. So I wrote to their music, and after I had put down the lyrics, we started arranging with the horns and all the little things that come and support the music and the chanting.
So did you go to their studio, or where did you record the vocals?
The first session we held, Moon came to France, and we did a 4-day studio session in the south of France. And after that, I flew to Boston to go to Moon's home studio and to finish the album. So yeah, it really took the shape of a meeting, you know, like with Moon coming and visiting me, and me going and visiting the brother right after that, and you know, getting to know each other and each other's lifestyle. So that was a really interesting way of creating that album.
If I listened carefully, you also sang all the harmony vocals on the album, right?
Yes.
So do you have a musical education?
Not really. I took a few guitar lessons back when I was a teenager, but mostly I learned, for me, my school. I started singing in the street when I was 18 years old, the first time I came to France, and for me that was a way of making money. You know, I was playing in the streets for money, and it's really how I learned how to sing, because you know when you sing in the street, the people are not waiting for you.
Oha, ich glaube.
So when you're singing well, you can feel it, because you can see the people there, they're staying and they want to listen. And so it's a really good way to know if you're doing it good, you know? So for me, that was really my school.
But singing lead vocals is different than singing harmony vocals, because for harmony vocals you need to have, well, not necessarily knowledge, but you need to have you need to feel where the right tones can be found, right?
Yeah, I guess reggae is also a really good teaching for that, because Jamaican reggae has these really typical vocal trios, you know, like Mighty Diamonds and Abyssinians, and you know, it's like you have the notes, and then you will sing the second note on the third, and the other note on the fifth. And once you've picked up that concept on many songs, it becomes natural. It's not something that you have to learn in school. You can, after a while, you can hear it. And it's funny because I cannot explain anything, because I don't know the name of any chords. I don't know the scales, anything. I can just feel it.
Yeah.
C'est dans la terre et dans les cieux, là dans le fluide et dans le feu. À tous mes pères, pensez à eux, à tous nos guides ainsi qu'à nos vieux. Là dans la terre, là dans les cieux, là dans le fluide et dans le feu. Toutes mes mères, toutes mes sœurs, je pense à elles et ainsi qu'à la terre. Là dans la terre, là dans les cieux, là dans le fluide et dans le feu. Là dans la terre, là dans les cieux, là dans le fluide et dans le feu. Protège ton pouvoir, conserve ton savoir, protège ton histoire, préserve ta mémoire, protège ton pouvoir, conserve ton savoir, protège ton histoire, préserve ta mémoire. Who I got paid for the Kalen cotton. Sodom and Gomorrah and Job and Saddam. All of them who seek for the top I go bottom, and I still must have pay for the Cain and a Gotham. All that was lost in a ocean bottom, he said forever a gone but never forgotten. Tell us see the head of the head dragon, if I had grow again must be cut by a lion. Rome could have fall just any time now, so now roam in the streets of them city town. Story unfolds, said Jano, to him and no story untold. So them all will have to pay for the cane and cotton. When we say cane and cotton, send them a bill, them a prepare for the cane and cotton.
Ach, guck mal, wir haben jetzt auch schon wieder... Aha, jetzt ist auch schon mal wieder Signal da. Okay. Ja, die haben jetzt alle starten sie im Ausgang auf 48. Yeah, testing. Ja, Mann! So geht das. Nur damit du Bescheid weißt, ne? Ja, richtig, weil dann, einmal wieder sagt er,
Cells on all the memory, the root branch of my family. In ignorance you can't own me for so long. Gonna chant a song unto Jah the Almighty. So long the memory I hold in the cells of your body. Story. Truth I go set you free over rival is a victory. His Majesty I come set me free. Cane and cotton, when we say cane and cotton, Babylon will have to pay. When we say cane and cotton, who I got pay for the cane and cotton, when we say cane and cotton, send them a bill, them a prepare. For the cane and cotton, when we say cane and cotton, Babylon must have prepare.
Ah. This is Reggae Roundup. We have some technical problems. Windows update, yes, 2004. Ready for the next track, Marcus Cat. It's called Run Away. From album Purify, listen to this one. Nice!
in your blood flow. Go to them wave, shall you be exposed? Stick it in a nature, the true living culture. Steady in a place you will live to discover. You will feel a change in your mind and body. So when let's have the one will awake gradually within you. Memories of old and your genes are too. A night again, a cycle, a star and moon. You feel again, my child, you will feel more soon. Conscious of your breath and your every move. Say the pain and the nuts and the blocks you move. Conscious of your soul, you will feel the groove. Talking a grace, everyone can understand it cannot be someone else. In a confidence, in a mother earth dance, in a sun dance, in a moon dance, in a trance, yes. In a sun dance, in a moon dance, in a trance. You're gonna run away.
Are you ready for the third part of the interview with Marcus, Gerd and Matthias?
Rastafari set the people free. Reveal to the heart what the eyes can see. Rhythm of serenity. Teach your children how to pay like a remedy. Rastafari set the people free. Reveal to the heart what the eyes can see. In my life, in my days, a man I come realize. We just said we cannot be otherwise. Most of what them telling's full of lies. Yes, them I think we time and not a merchandise. How much I like come and the people hypnotize. Poor people life.
Good evening, listeners of Reggae Roundup. This is Matthias again, bringing you a brand new interview. His name is Marcus Gard, and today he's here with me on Skype. So I say greetings, Marcus. What's going on? How are you today?
Greetings, Matthias. Everything's fine. And thank you for having me on the show.
Well, I think that's not unusual because there are many musicians who don't have let's say theoretical background of music necessarily. Yeah. Even some of the even jazz musicians who cannot read music, but who still know where the notes are. I was just thinking that you also have a band, Tribe. So when you decided to work with Zion I Kings, what does your band say about that? Are they jealous?
No, it's this is also another thing that for me is a really important part of reggae music. Is as singers, you can sing with different bands. And as a band, you can play with different singers. But like the story is that I will do collaborations with other bands, with other sound systems, sound engineers. But when it comes to live music, Tribe is my band, and it's the band that I will be playing with. So even this album that was released with Zion I Kings, when you will hear it played on stage, I'll be playing it with Tribe.
And are they all from New Caledonia as well?
No, actually it's a big mix. It's a couple of us from New Caledonia, then there is another brother who comes from Reunion Island in the Indian Ocean, and then the rest of the crew are from the south of France.
Coming back to the music of the album, or maybe even your music in general, where we were speaking about Rastafari and a certain message that you have in your lyrics. Regarding the musical style, how important is the musical style to you regarding the lyrics? In other words, would you feel okay singing, let's say, your lyrics on a dancehall or a hip-hop rhythm, or is it important to have that roots reggae beat?
Actually, I tend to sing in all genres. Right now I'm working on a new project which is more of a hip-hop vibes. But for me, there is always this guiding link, which is the message and the lyrics, as you just said. So, of course, I come from deep roots and from spiritual reggae music, and it's my foundation and something that I will always go back to. But I really believe that what is important is the message and the lyrics, the words you put onto the songs, and whatever the genre that you will be singing to, this is the thing that will make everything hold together. So for example, I could even sing trap music as long as I keep my vibes in the lyrical flow and in the message. Well, it will link everything together and give it a sense.
Rastafari set the people free. Reveal to the heart that the heights can. Wisdom and serenity.
Visitor Radio, Reggae Roundup. Nice one. Here comes another track from Mr. Marcus Gerd. Album's called Charting. Track is called Soul Talk.
This is our to Jah mighty Father Son. I let the sun talk. Let him guide me, let him give me clock. I soul talk. Put my reason down upon the rock. I sun talk. Let him guide me, let him give me clock. I soul talk. Put my reason firmly down upon the rock. Hey, put my reason firmly down upon the rock. Hey, put my reason firmly down upon the rock. Hey, put my reason firmly down upon the rock. Say of the source of all things, that the reason man life. Of the sun is the king for providing man life. Rise up in the morning and shine so bright. Wake I spirit and actions and end by night. Rise and shine after dreamy nights and see the first rays of light. Rise up in the morning bright and taking a first breath of might. Feel the flow of a light come a rushing on your spine from the root of our life to your very third eye. Focus on your breath, it's your key to go inside. Get ready to make this day one where you realize all the truth you've got inside. So let the sun talk, let him guide me, let him give me clock, I soul talk. Put my reason down upon the rock, I silent talk. Let them guide me, let them give me clock, I soul talk. Put my reason from me down upon the rock. Hey, put my reason from me down upon the rock. Yeah, this is I to Jah mighty Father song. Blessings on you. This is on you. Hey. They say the plant is the root of all life for humanity. Giving man everything that he need in a levity. Clothing, shelter, food to fill the belly, medicine and meditation, we rise spiritually. Sun is the light for this plant to grow. There ain't nothing you must know Mother Nature can show. Love is the light for your soul to grow. In your heart, in your life, it is an open flow. I'm all eternal life, it is an open flow. Man, I got eternal life, it is an open flow. And let the sun talk. Let them guide me, let them give me clock, I soul talk. Put my reason down upon the rock, I sun talk. Let them guide me, let them give me clock, I soul talk. Put my reason from me down upon the rock. Hey, put my reason from me down upon the rock. Yeah, this is I to Jah mighty Father song. Blessings on you.
We're coming to the next part of the interview. Marcus, Gerd, Matthias. Yeah, man. You listen to Visitor Radio, live from Hamburg City.
Oh, mama. Oh, mama. All the troubles in my day, in your heart are inside. Oh, mama. Oh, mama. To the skies I raise my head. Thanks for life in every way. Where do we come from? Who we be? Mama, so many questions arise within me. Is our ancestry of the body only? Is the brain the only keeper of my memory? Or is there something more that must have failed to see? Like the soul could have moved transmigrationally. When we all carry bits of every...
Good evening, listeners of Reggae Roundup. This is Matthias again, bringing you a brand new interview. His name is Marcus Gard, and today he is here with me on Skype. So I say greetings, Marcus. What's going on? How are you today?
Greetings, Matthias. Everything's fine. And thank you for having me on the show.
I was actually present when you played in Hamburg in 2018, I think, with Alborosi and Busy Signal, if I remember correctly. As far as I could see it from the crowd and from the reactions and so on, there was a lot of response to your music. Now, the music isn't, let's say, it's not dancehall, it's not fast, it's you don't do lots of light shows and dancers and stuff, but it's roots reggae music with good lyrics. And what do you think creates the power of this type of music? What makes people feel attracted to it?
Well, I think people are in need for something real, you know, like there's different styles of music, and I always like to say that we need every kind of music. We need music to cry, we need music to smile, we need music to jump up and shout, and we need music to meditate and turn on the inside and reflect on one another, you know. So I think what touches people in the music we do is that we don't try to bring any, you know, excess to it. Like there is no stage show. Like, you know, we don't prepare it. Like we just get on stage and do what we have to do and sing the music. And for now, yeah, we don't have this big light show and everything. We really want to make the music the essential, you know. Yeah. I don't want people to come to my shows to be looking at me, or I really want the people to feel the music and to reflect upon it. And because I think, like, you know, for me, music changed my life. It really made me take the decisions that made what my life is today. And if I can serve this purpose for other people, if I can help anyone with my music to focus back on the inside and to get back to natural things, well, that for me, that would be my greatest achievement, really.
The album was released in March. How has it been doing? How's it been received?
It's been received really, really well, and I think a part of the public was really happy to see that such a fast connection happened between Zionai Kings and me, because everybody who listens to my music knows like how deeply I was influenced by Midnight. So it's like it's a link that makes sense. And also what I've noticed from this album is that Zionai Kings, they're releasing it from America, from the United States. So it's getting also a big impact in South America, in places like Brazil, Mexico, and of course the US. So yeah, we're quite happy about that, and we're really looking forward to going and touring in South and Northern America.
Yeah, although that's probably still going to take a while till all the COVID stuff is you know, under control. Yeah, so you probably don't know when this is all going to happen, right?
Well, no. Like for now, we have shows that are starting again in September, and hopefully won't be cancelled. But I guess nobody can know for now. For us, we've been taking it. Trying to take it with philosophy and mostly working on the music. So I've been recording many new songs and opening up to many different projects. Since we can't play shows, we have to keep the music going, you know.
Right. Let's talk about, at least one song from the album. Let me choose Pouvoir, because it is your first and so far the only French song
yes.
that you've, or at least that we've heard. So what is it about?
Well, Pouvoir, it's kind of a general, like, if you've seen the video, I've made it about the Kanak people of New Caledonia.
Right.
But basically the message of Pouvoir means power. And I'm speaking about native people and their history and this power that they hold, that is the knowledge of their environment that they're living in. And it's a message of hope and of struggle to these people, and to support their struggle, because in these modern times it gets really, really hard for them to keep their culture. You know, there's this really big gap between the tribal native world and the modern world. And in New Caledonia, for instance, you get these youth, they grow up in a tribe in a really, you know, in a really traditional kind of style of life, and then they go to school in town and they're exposed to the Western world, but sometimes there is no explanation. So it's really difficult for them to bridge. And I think especially in New Caledonia, they're doing a great job, and it's really interesting to see how they're mixing up the ancient ways with the new ones and making it into one. So for me, this song was really a way to encourage that, and also to tell the young people that their tribal culture is something that they have to be proud of, because a lot of them are starting to feel ashamed because it's not fashionable anymore, right. You know. So it's really this message of hope and of empowerment. Micronutrients are go feed the rhizome, and the soul. Feels a hot with joy to see black man approach.
track is called Rebel for My Soul. Marcus Gad.
Joe Rastafari. Now we come and sing a joyful song unto the Father once again. I lay rebel for my soul. Now this one you will never take. Rebel for my soul. Not even with the promise of your diamonds and fame. Rebel for my soul. Now this one you will never claim. Rebel for my soul. No. Well, say walking on to the Gideon. Time reveal the Rasta man at the champion. Long time organic and vegetarian. See look at them all a pick up by the millions. Yes, so the market is for the billions. Labeling the food so the price are rising up. Tell me brother man that they're really serious. Or is it only we are we too rebellious? A rebel for my soul. No, this one you will never take. Rebel for my soul. Not even with the promise of your diamonds and fame. Rebel for my soul. No, this one you will never claim. Rebel for my soul. No. Speaking of the prices rising up, Rastaman already step ahead of planting up. Cultivate a native and sustainable crop, as well as some revolutionary conscious thoughts. Consuming a local and responsible farm. Know what you invest in and where it a come from. Know what you ingesting and if it a confirm. Know that you are rebel and you not settle under a level. No, we be humble. Never accept mediocre even if double. It a principle, so we not stumble. So we not step up in a end up in a trouble. We no wanna hustle, we no wanna wrestle. Wanna follow righteously with the principles. Move to our people, strength in our struggle. Love all to our elders, to the youth in a cradle, yeah. A Rasta man a day a planner. A bingy man a vibing and the people them a picking up. Say them a rebel. Rebel for my soul. No, this one you will never take. Rebel for my soul. Not even with the promise of your diamonds and fame. Rebel for my soul. No, this one you will never claim. Rebel for my soul. Oh no. Rebel for my soul. No, this one you will never ever claim. Rebel for my soul. No, this one you shall never ever take. Rebel for my soul. Oh.
Rebel from my soul. Here comes the last part of the interview. Matthias and Marcus Gad. Yeah, man.
Live life with a whole lot of faith and a love in your heart. Live life, man, I say. Live life, yeah. Live life with a whole lot of faith and a love in your heart. Live life, man, I say. Live life, yeah. Open up the gates, man, I say. But we generation is in a doorway. See the youth of the world spelling out a better day. Vision not a materialism aspect, but we life in this planet, but what we make it.
Good evening, listeners of Reggae Roundup. This is Matthias again, bringing you a brand new interview. His name is Marcus Gad, and today he's here with me on Skype. So I say greetings, Marcus. What's going on? How are you today?
Greetings, Matthias. Everything's fine. And thank you for having me on the show.
Well, I really encourage the listeners to go out and listen to the album. Well, obviously, we're going to play several tracks from the album on the show. Now, for the listeners who would like to learn more about you and your music, where can they find the album and your other music?
So all of our music you can find on YouTube and any streaming platform online. If you for people that have a subscription to any platform, and on YouTube we post all the songs for free, and you can find us on any social media, but mostly on YouTube. You'll find all the videos and all the songs from every single album that I've released.
Right, and let's mention those again. You have 2 full-length albums. The first one is Chanting, and now the current one is Rhythm of Serenity. And there are also a couple of EPs. Maybe you can say 1 or 2 words about those as well.
Yes, my 2 first EPs were Soul Talk and Purify, and I recorded these in New Caledonia back in the days. And then we did this third EP alongside my sound engineer Tamal, and this one is called Enter a Space, and it was released in between the 2 albums.
As I said, the listeners should go out and take a look and listen to the music. I think the new album is a step up to the other music in my opinion, and it's very versatile too. I mean, it's roots reggae, but it's different tempos, different vibes in the songs. There's one song which has kind of, I believe to me it has kind of a funky vibe, which is Live Life. The intro is very funky, and then it has a kind of a different vibe there, compared to the other songs. Definitely recommend the album. And well, looking at my watch, it appears that 20 minutes have gone by, and I have to try and come to an end here. So left for me to say thank you for sharing time with me. I'm glad that you were in France, so we didn't have any, time issues, which sometimes isn't as easy. By the way, if you fly back home from France, how does that work? What kind of a trip is that?
Oh, it's a long trip. It's the longest trip you can take by plane. It depends, but most of the times you'll have 2 layovers, and it'll be in Japan or in Australia. You have a couple stops that you need to do on the way.
Right. You're probably staying in France due to the COVID stuff, or are you going back home many times now?
Yeah, I stayed here, and we actually we're living together with the members of Tribe. And we actually made quite a big food garden in this place we're staying in the mountains in southern France. So for us, it was also, we don't have shows, but it was a great time to get closer to the land and do something real too, because it's something I talk a lot about in my music. And for us, it's also essential that we can do it in our daily life. So yeah, I stayed here through the crisis, and the crisis was great to get closer to the land. It was like the last call.
Right. Okay, Marcus. So thank you very much for spending time with me here and giving us some insight into what you're doing at the moment, and also regarding the album. And we hope to see you here in Germany at some point again. And wishing you all the best.
Yes, thank you for welcoming me, and thank you for the time of speech. And yes, I give thanks to all our listeners in Germany, and I really hope we'll get to meet you again really soon, because we did have a great time last time we came to Germany. So I really hope we can come and share musical vibes with all of you soon.
Cover the earth in a light and a love. Like your ego and I see His Majesty. Like your fears, you broke the 7 seals already. For the whole of the world to take notice and see. Solution for the hope of all humanity.
Thank you, Marcus Gerd and Matthias, for this wicked and super interview. Thank you very much. You listen to this on the radio, live from Hamburg City.
Brother man, don't you know, never to judge a book by its cover.
Now we're coming to a gentleman. It's called Jamir Morgan. From his brand new album, it's called Self-Confidence. The track is called Victory Dance.
Oh, we don't want no trouble. We just wanna keep on winning, spreading this love. We're going all around the world, doing my victory dance. I'm going round the world doing my victory dance. I work hard to get there, watch me do my victory dance. I'm going round the world doing my victory dance. I work hard to get there, watch me do my victory. Nothing don't change, nothing can break us. Give me everything from my labor. Nobody want work, everybody want famous. Time for the thing for change. I'm ready on, ready on, ready on, ready on. Believing I good over evil. Still have faith in my people. Watch me do my victory dance. I'm going round the world doing my victory dance. I work hard to get there, watch me do my victory dance. I'm going round the world doing my victory dance. I work hard to get there, watch me do my like this song every week, yo, we not separate. Let's talk about the thing, then we not celebrate. Like the blackness, the culture been taken by vultures. Now youths, them I wonder, who them I go turn to, who them I go learn from, who them I go listen when there's so much confusion. Yo, it's the real red Morgan bloodline. Ready for the world, watch me do my victory dance. I'm going round the world doing my victory dance. I work hard to get there, watch me do my victory dance. I'm going round the world doing my victory dance. I work hard to get there, watch me do my victory. We won't let no system or nobody come and break us. We just burn the fire, make it burn them, yeah. We won't let no system or nobody come and break us. We just burn the fire, make it burn them. Watch me do my victory dance. I'm going round the world doing my victory dance. I work hard to get there, watch me do my victory dance. I'm going round the world doing my victory dance. I work hard to get there, watch me do my victory dance.
Album is called Self-Confidence. Jamir Morgan, Victory Dance. Nice one. Here comes the Roots Rockers from the album Tanzen und Schreien. Track is called Forward featuring Mystic Done.
We take it, survive forward. It had the beat out of the street, I put the light now in our blood. Guide and protect it from Almighty above. Now give we a sign, cause we want spread some peace and love. Make we take this, survive forward. Nothing, no stone after no blackbird. They missing check, just set gain respect, press forward. No widget, we bring a positive lyric and rubber dub.
Hey, gib mir den Beat, gib mir den Bass, gib mir die Liebe, nicht den Hass. Gib mir den Rhythm, wenn ich dich mitnehm, ist der Tune dein Backstage-Pass. Gib mir die Kraft für noch ne Show, gib mir den Spliff für noch mehr Flow. Gib mir den Halt und den Verstand für neue Texte mit Niveau. Oh, so wie ich es sag, gib mir die Sonne jeden Tag. Nimm mir die Ängste in dem Sturm, halt mich fest und mach mich stark. Gib mir den Vibe, wie ich ihn mag und gib mir ne Antwort, wenn ich frag. Spürst du die Power der Musik, die durch die Lautsprecher jagt?
My old boy, wicked and wild, come make we take it, survive forward. It had the beat out of the street, I put the light now in our blood. Guide and protect it from Almighty above. Now give we a sign, cause we want spread some peace and love. Make we take this, survive forward. Nothing, no stone after no blackbird. They missing check, just set gain respect, press forward. No widget, we bring a positive lyric and rubber dub.
Hey, 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 hey. Ich wische den Schweiß von meiner Stirn, lasse mich live gern inspirieren. Löse die Fesseln, die mich hindern, so zu sein, wie ich es bin. Mache mich frei von allen Zwängen, denn sie hängen mich ein. Und liebe das Leben, wie es dem Leben gebührt. Geliebt zu zu sein. Und gib mir Platz für mehr Ideen, gib mir das Licht, um scharf zu sehen. Gib mir einen Satz mit einem Wort, nimm dir die Zeit, um zu verstehen. Bitte begreife das System, wir gehen nach vorne, nicht zu gehen. Uwe K. und Mystik, denn in Kombination.
Every day we wake up, it's the same procedure. No fab too much, but hungry mouth to feed ya. Inspire me to put some pen to paper. Music lift me to a high-tech skyscraper. Must say one word, we seed planter. Come with two words, combination chanter. Next 3 words that I don't follow slander. Forward, that's where we want.
Come make we take it, survive forward. It at the beat out of the street, I put the light now in our blood. Guide and protect it from Almighty above. Now give we a sign, cause we want spread some peace and love. Make we take this, survive forward. No fling, no stone after no blackbird. Them missing, check your set, gain respect, press forward. No widget, we bring a positive lyric and rubber the heart. Come make we take it, survive forward. It at the beat out of the street, I put the light now in our blood. Guide and protect it from Almighty above. Now give we a sign, cause we want spread some peace and love. Make we take this, survive forward. No fling, no stone after no blackbird. Them missing, check your set, gain respect, press forward. No widget, we bring a positive lyric and rubber the heart.
Roots Rockers featuring Mystic Down Forward. And here comes Mr. Tony Natali, I. Brand new single. Listen to this one.
Tony Natali on the mic, you know.
politicians. I say, I and I just need the Rasta government. I and I just fulfill the lion I pray. I and I is a liberty.
My God, Tony Natali from the forthcoming album Chapter 1. The track is called I and I. Nice one. Here comes from Pablo Baldini, Dub has missed double standard from the forthcoming album Dub Me Crazy, Them Can't Stop From Talk, featuring Anthony B.
Lord of mercy, it seems Bruce Cole, Lord of mercy. You know I walk through the valley of death and fear no evil, Jah never left we here. Hypocrite try eat up my flesh, but they never get no kind of strength, them no get. Jah guide I through the darkness and free I mind from stress. So me say, talk. Them can't stop we from talk, say. Anyway the hypocrite there, we no walk there. Talk. Them can't stop we from talk, and you know Rasta man, we no carry coward out there. Talk. Them can't stop we from talk, say. Anyway drunk or love bitch, we no walk there. Talk. Them can't stop we from talk, and you know Rasta man no go where no booby a mark there. She have a piece of foot and she can't find the pearl. Connect new leader sitting at the chair, but them turn round and back and cheer. Every price skyrocket through the ear, can't buy food and clothes to wear. So we have to talk. Them can't stop we from talk, say. Anyway the hypocrite there, we no walk there. Talk. Them can't stop we from talk, and you know Rasta man, we no carry coward out there. Talk. Them can't stop we from talk, say. Anyway drunk or love bitch, we no walk there. Talk. Them can't stop we from talk, and you know Rasta man no go where no booby a mark there.
Yes, I. This is Marcus God, and you're listening to Reggae Roundup.
Paolo Baldini dub files, misunderstander. Nice one from the forthcoming album, That Be Crazy, Them Can't Stop It From Talk.
Yes,
and featuring Anthony B. And here comes Arise Roots, Babylon. Why?
You can always trust what you see. Even friends can turn into enemies. Don't trade your freedom for security. And keep a watchful eye on authorities. Yeah. Mystery Babylon. Your dirty tricks can't fool I and I. So who you counting on? When your systems come crumbling down. Wicked Babylon, boy. Little Babylon, boy. Little Babylon, boy. Little Babylon, boy. Even in a crowd, I stand alone. And for your wicked ways, you must atone. What's done in secret, it shall be known. Despite the minds of ninja sits on the throne. Yeah. Mystery Babylon. I know you wanna rule I and I. So who
was the Richie Spice. Red Hot from the brand new album Together We Stand.
Red Hot. Oh yeah. Na 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 na. Red Hot, Red Hot. Yes. When Jack come from Buzzrock with his garment tipped in blood, said it I go red hot, red hot, red hot, down in Joassa France. Yes, it I go red hot, red hot, red hot, down in Joassa France. When Jack come from Jerusalem with his garment tipped in blood, said it I go red hot, red hot, red hot, down in a Babylon. Yes, it I go red hot, red hot, red hot, down in a Babylon. The way they treat the poor, I try to treat every fruit before they open up the door. Can't understand how they treat the poor. Yeah, when Jack were born in a stable, a saddle grass, a little hay lazy. When Jack come from Buzzrock with his garment tipped in blood, yes, it I go red hot, red hot, red hot, down in Joassa France. Oh, it I go red hot, red hot, red hot, down in Joassa France. When Jack come from Jerusalem with his garment tipped in blood, yes, it I go red hot, red hot, red hot, down in a Babylon. Oh, it I go red hot, red hot, red hot, down in a Babylon. And one shall be taken away. Yes, it I go red hot, red hot, red hot, down in a Babylon. Oh, it I go red hot, red hot, red hot, down in a Babylon.
Brand new album's called Together We Stand, Richie Spice. The track is called Red Hot. And here comes another brand new album from China. It's called Gimme 100 on the highway. Listen to this one. Nice.
Then you can get off, let me turn up and let the music play. 100 on the highway. I ain't taking no calls on my struggles in the rearview mirror. If you ain't going my way, then you can get off, let me turn up and let the music play. How come you don't realize that it's out of perfection? You dream of many things, but they're just a distraction. Out chasing for the standard, just to make your life hard. You gather more things for your comfort, just to watch them all fall. Going 100 on the highway, I ain't taking no calls on my struggles in the rearview mirror. If you ain't going my way, music play. 100 on the highway. I ain't taking no calls on my struggles in the rearview mirror. If you ain't going my way, then you can get off. Let me turn up and let the music play. Way ahead of the haters, negative detractors, germs and vipers, they're trolling. They come by provoking, waiting and hoping to slow me down. They can't hold me. And no matter what they say, no matter what they do, just don't bother me. No matter what they say, cause I can see right through all they're trying to do. 100 on the highway. I ain't taking no calls on my struggles in the rearview mirror. If you ain't going my way, then you can get off. Let me turn up and let the music play. 100 on the highway. I ain't taking no calls on my struggles in the rearview mirror. If you ain't going my way, then you can get off. Let me turn up and let the music play. Struggles in the rearview mirror. If you ain't going my way, then you can get off. Let me turn up and let the music play. 100 on the highway. I ain't taking no calls on my struggles in the rearview mirror. If you ain't going my way, then you can get off. Let me turn up and let the music play. 100 on the highway. I ain't taking no calls on my struggles in the rearview mirror. If you ain't going my way, then you can get off. Let me turn up and let the music play. Yeah. I ain't taking no calls on my struggles. Yeah. Oh yeah. Going my way. Yeah, yeah. Let me turn up and let the music play. Going 100 on the highway. Taking no calls on my struggles. Yeah, yeah. Going my way. Alright. Let the music play.
Here comes Mr. Richie Spice. Track is called High Grade from 2007.
I plant a little tree in my front yard.
You listen to Visit our radio live from Hamburg City.
Where's the rights for the street? The seed of fall upon the wise man tomb. I take it and I sow it in a loom. Praying to Jah it will germinate soon. Oh yeah. Nothing in this world like the iron ametalis. In ametalis, iron ametalis. Nothing in this world like the iron ametalis. It made me feel so fine, yeah. Nothing in this world like the iron ametalis. In ametalis, iron ametalis. Nothing in this world like the iron ametalis. It made me feel so fine. They said it's good for the environment development. Bliss straight from the element. Empress in this world of the tree, yes. I said it puts you on the higher meditation. It's not the medicine where them use heal the nation. I said the kings of this world of the tree, yes. So free up the herbs, legalize the herbs. It's good for your nerves, yes. Come free up the herbs, legalize the herbs. It's good for your nerves, why? Oh, nothing in this world like the iron ametalis. In ametalis, iron ametalis. Nothing in this world like the iron ametalis. It made me feel so fine, why? Nothing in this world like the iron ametalis. In ametalis, iron ametalis. Nothing in this world like the iron ametalis. It made me feel so fine, yes. Yeah. We smoking high grade. Yeah. High grade in our chalice. Yeah. Nothing in this world like the iron ametalis. In ametalis, iron ametalis. Nothing in this world like the iron ametalis. It made me feel so fine, boy. Nothing in this world like the iron ametalis. In ametalis. Nothing in this world like the iron of a chalice. It made me feel so fine, yeah. I plant a little tree in my front yard. I precious little tree in my front yard. Oh, here's the rice for the tree. The seed will fall upon the wise man too. I take it and I sow it in a loom, praying to Jah for it to germinate soon. Oh yeah. Nothing in this world like the iron of a chalice. In a chalice, iron of a chalice. Nothing in this world like the iron of a chalice. It made me feel so fine, oh. Nothing in this world like the iron of a chalice. In a chalice, iron of a chalice. Nothing in this world like the iron of a chalice. It made me feel so fine, yeah.
Richie Spice.
Yeah.
Track is called High Grade from 2007. Album's called In the Streets of Africa. Well, now we're coming to Rise Roots featuring Slightly Stupid and Eric Rachmani. Track is called Come and Get It. Extended version. Listen to this one. Album's called Pathways.
Push the limit, can't stand us. We push the limit, can't stand us. We're level-headed, not spun, and love is always the intention. Hey, give me that green and I'll drop as I'm rising. I rise, roots rise up, rock steady. We're keen on those good vibrations. Come one, come all, this one's for everyone.
If you want that pure fire, you can come and get it. You can come and get it now. We're gonna take you higher. You can come and get it. You can come and get it now. Come give the Rizla a light. You can come and get it. You can come and get it now. Cause we gon' blaze up the night. You can come and get it. You can come and get it now.
He do 5 to the 619. Revolution stupid and the rise roots tonight. We get together just to level them by. Vibes getting level up, it's with no trouble. Come let us play it in a rubber dub style. Light it up and burn and make we stay for a while. Come turn it up and I go touching that line. All in together, we's birds of a feather. So giving you them visual, not synthetic or digital. We come to keep it rocking all day. Keeping trouble to a minimum and love that's unconditional.
Slightly stupid Eric Rajmani. Come and get it. He comes with a light brown Jerusalem.
Our speech has time within thy gates, O Jerusalem, O Jerusalem, such a holy place, O Jerusalem, such a holy place, O Jerusalem. For my brethren and companions' sake, I say peace be within thee. I know the Lord will bless our souls, and He will never, never, never leave us alone. Jerusalem is built as a city that is compact together. Oh, Jerusalem, such a holy place. Oh, Jerusalem, such a holy place. Oh, Jerusalem, beautiful place. Jerusalem, I'm going there one day. For my brethren and companions' sake, I say peace be within thee. I know the Lord will bless our souls, and He will never, never, never leave us alone. Jerusalem is built as a city that is compact together. Oh, Jerusalem, such a holy place. Oh, Jerusalem, such a holy place. Oh, Jerusalem, beautiful place. Going to the big place, yeah. Beautiful place.
Too much crime and violence most my people. We need more love, y'all.
Mr. Peter Honington, Roots and Culture.
Roots and culture. Give me the roots and culture. Roots and culture. No man all of the roots and culture.
Rhythm is called Engine 54.
Of a race from the African lands. Where we fought for our freedom, but now we fight against our brother man. Yes, we seem to be losing all the love that we used to know. Well, have we lost our culture? Because it doesn't really seem to show. I said it's time for some cultural love. And yes, my love in the African blood. And every youth to every man should know how his roots and his origin go. Give me the roots and culture. Roots and culture. No man, all of me roots and culture. Roots and culture. Anytime I think about Marcus Messiah Garvey, he often reminds me of where I'm coming from. And anytime I hear the Honorable Bob Marley, yes, his words and his wiseness gets me going on. So from the bottom of my heart and soul, I say I'm proud of my African blood. And every youth to every man should know how his roots and his origin go. Give me the roots and culture. Roots and culture. No man, all of me roots and culture. Roots and culture. Roots and roots. No, we can't let it go.
a brother man. Well, it solves no problem, and they know it's wrong, know it's wrong, know it's right. And if they stop to whine and add a little understanding, yes, respect for their brothers and where they're coming from, coming from, coming from. So from the bottom of my heart and soul, I'm proud of my African blood, and every youth to every man should know how his roots and his origin go. Give me the roots and culture, roots and culture. No man, I left the roots and culture, roots and culture. Give me the roots and, give me the roots and, I left the roots and culture, the roots and culture. Give me the roots and, give me the roots and, I left the roots and culture, roots and culture, the roots and culture.
Ladies and gentlemen, the last track for this week is from Seed. Brand new album's called Bam Bam, featuring Treadman. Immer bei dir. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back next week with another brand new interview by Mr. Dre Island and Matthias. Have a nice week.
Greetings goes to
bye-bye.
Indonesia, Australia, Japan, South Korea, China, Africa, South Africa, England, France, Spain, Denmark, USA, Canada,
all over the world. Thank you.
Come on.
You're only making criminals out of decent folk. Just because a little bit of ganja they smoke, it shouldn't be a crime. It's about time. Have you heard the word legalizer? 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 Millions of people smoke marijuana all over the world now, in every corner. Nurses, teacher, the lawyer and the doctor. Even the president of America, ganja in a prison, them a regular user. The governor no mind, they keep the prisoner cooler. All your 60s hippies, where are they? Them are your bank managers and your boss of today.